This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday. Hope you all had a wonderful Labor Day holiday. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Ray Collins has the day off. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi. John, we are all wondering where this Hurricane Irma is going.
Yeah, it's not particularly good news this morning in terms of what has happened with this hurricane over the last 24 hours. As forecast, it has continued to strengthen, but it has strengthened in a very vigorous fashion. It is now about 6 miles per hour away from being a Category 5 hurricane and bearing down on the northernmost Leeward Islands. It is going to be a tough 24 hours for that tiny little island chain in the northern Leeward Islands. Taking a look at the current stats, 150 mile an hour winds, movement to the west, due west at about 14 miles per hour. This is the latest hurricane track from the Hurricane Center issued just moments ago, and it does indeed show a Category 4 storm just to the south of the peninsula of Florida, moving through areas of the Florida Keys. That said, the cone of uncertainty, which is very important because the error in a forecast track that far out is 300 miles, which is a huge difference in terms of the effects that you feel from a hurricane. That error stretches all the way from the Bahama Island chains to south of Cuba. Obviously, that would make a big difference in the kind of weather that we would feel here on the Suncoast. So it's still early to tell. However, today will be a beautiful day, a nice day with lots of sunshine and little rain chance. A absolutely fabulous day to get your hurricane plan in order. And if you're a boater, just remember, you're going to have to start a little bit earlier than everybody else and get your preparations in order by mooring your boat or hauling it out. In any event, making sure that it is in a safe, protected area. And for the rest of us, get your hurricane kit in order. And over the next several days, if you don't have a video inventory of your home, you should. We all should. It should be part of our hurricane kit. This would be an excellent time to do that and get the rest of your kit in order as well. We'll have more tips for you and take a look at the forecast track coming up in just a few. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, John. We will certainly be tracking that throughout the morning. Topping our news this hour, Florida Governor Rick Scott declaring a state of emergency for the Sunshine State and telling Floridians to prepare for the worst. On Sunday, Scott issued a number of tweets urging Floridians to be ready for Hurricane Irma. Among the messages from the governor, encourage your loved ones to have a plan ahead of any potential storm. Now, less than 24 hours ago, Governor Scott declared that state of emergency for every county here in Florida. This state of emergency allows emergency management officials to act quickly in the best interest of Floridians. Scott says he urges all residents to keep up with local weather and news broadcasts for the latest information. And since it looks like we will see at least some effects from Hurricane Irma here on the Suncoast, residents aren't taking any chances. Essential supplies are already flying off the shelves at Lowe's on Fruitville. They sold out of generators just before 6 p.m. yesterday. Water can no longer be found on the shelves of some stores across the Suncoast, and people are already stocking up on food, water, and much more.
You need a plan for 3 to 7 days worth of food and water, and you may be without power, so you want to get battery-operated flashlights. Fuel is going to be a big concern here. We don't want everybody going crazy and filling up all their tanks and getting all the fuel, but you need to be aware that there's going to be some fuel shortages because it's already affecting us from Harvey.
Local disaster planning guides are available at any county library. It has 10 steps to get ready for a hurricane, such as knowing where shelters are and what flood zone you live in. As for the Lowe's on Fruitville Road, the store manager says a truckload of water and sandbags should be available this morning. Meanwhile, as many people head to stores to prepare for Irma, Attorney General Pam Bondi has activated Florida's price gouging hotline for all consumers in Florida. Bondi says that Floridians need to prepare now, and they should not have to worry about unlawful price increases on supplies necessary to brace for a major hurricane. State law prohibits extreme price increases of essential commodities needed during a state of emergency. Those commodities include food, water, hotels, ice, gasoline, lumber, and any other equipment such as batteries. It's also illegal to sell goods and services to the public without an occupational license. Violators can be charged with a second-degree misdemeanor. Anyone who suspects price gouging should report it by calling 866-9-NO-SCAM. And as all eyes are on Hurricane Irma, One Blood says it must begin storm preparations now. The Blood Center is urging all eligible blood donors to donate before Irma potentially impacts our service area. One Blood says the current path of Hurricane Irma is too close for comfort and donations are needed. The most critical time for blood donations is before any storm in order to sustain the blood supply during and immediately after the event. Recently, One Blood stepped in and sent several shipments of blood to help patients in Texas until the blood centers there were able to resume operations. This week, One Blood is assisting the blood center in Puerto Rico and has already sent 100 units of blood to the island as they prepare for Irma's arrival. And ABC 7 wants to make sure you are fully prepared for hurricane season. We have tons of information about shelters, evacuation routes, supply kits, and much more in our 1-hour-long special called Surviving a Hurricane. It is available on multiple platforms, including Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. You can also download this year's hurricane guide at mysuncoast.com. 5:06 this morning, and despite the news about Irma, people here on the Suncoast continue to celebrate Labor Day. The beaches were packed and so were the stores and restaurants, especially on Siesta Key. Our Rick Adams tells us just how well businesses fared.
Happy Labor Day! It was a happy Labor Day for a lot of folks, many of whom packed America's #1 beach, Siesta Beach, and other beaches throughout the Suncoast.
You need to come out to the beach and have a good time, hang out with all your friends. I think it's really important because everyone works pretty hard throughout the year, and you get one day to just come out and hang out.
Lots of people at the beach usually means lots of business for those places that remained open on the holiday. Places like CB Saltwater Outfitters on Siesta Key were busy with their retail store and watercraft rental service. They tell us all of their charter boats have been in use all weekend, and it's been the same for their jet ski rentals as well.
For this weekend, this is our big push, and we'll slow down after this. But yeah, this is Labor Day is a good weekend for us, definitely.
Labor Day has also been a good weekend for the Daiquiri Deck's 4 locations, including their new spot on Stickney Point Road. The bar and restaurants GM says he's very pleased with the turnout.
The whole weekend long has been packed, whether it's lunch, happy hour, dinner. Maybe not as busy as a 4th of July weekend, but we've had a great Labor Day weekend.
For Bradenton resident Tia Copeland, she's had a great Labor Day weekend with her family, just enjoying a little fun in the sun on Siesta Beach, despite the large crowds.
It took about like 30 minutes to find a parking spot. We drove around and yeah, 30 minutes, but it's worth it.
On Siesta Key, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
5:08 this morning, and an apartment complex in Manatee County is celebrating its 1-year anniversary as an affordable housing complex. The first residents moved into the Robbins Apartments, formerly known as Knights Inn, last July, and now it's home to close to 200 families. Renters pay $650 a month for rent, electricity, water, and cable, and most of the apartments are furnished. Management just opened 60 remodeled units with kitchenettes, and construction is already underway for 60 more units. Many of the residents were living out of their cars before moving into the apartments, and management says they've come a long way.
First of all, they were looking to just breathe and stay above water. Then they started achieving self-sufficiency, and now they are becoming sustainable.
There is a waiting list for those interested in moving into those apartments, but management says it can find most families homes within 3 weeks. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies are searching for the person responsible for a string of burglaries over the weekend. Deputies say a home and 2 businesses on 18th Street East in Bradenton were broken into and several items were stolen. The thefts happened sometime between Saturday night into Sunday morning. If you have any information or witnessed anything suspicious in that area, you're being asked to call Manatee County Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. And an arrest has been made in connection with the death of Corey Iwanski. Detectives arrested 20-year-old Jacob Brian Harris, who is charged with Iwanski's murder. Iwanski was discovered dead in his car behind a plaza last Tuesday morning after his mother tried to contact him for 2 days. The suspect has since been taken into the Manatee County Jail. Well, soon Suncoast drivers will have another major north and south route besides I-75. The Lorraine Road extension in Lakewood Ranch will open tomorrow, just ahead of snowbird season. Crews have been working for months to extend Lorraine at University Parkway south to Fruitville Road. The road will have 2 lanes in each direction, center turn lanes, sidewalks, and streetlights. The extension is all part of the Waterside project that's bringing 5,100 new homes to the south side of University Parkway. Happening today, now that Labor Day is over, there will likely be some trash along the sand and, of course, the shoreline. But you can help clean up Siesta Key Beach today, starting at 7 a.m. The Greater Sarasota Chamber of Commerce is hosting the cleanup, and they will be providing trash bags and gloves that will be handed out. The group will meet at 7 a.m. at the Sea Turtle Pavilion. After the cleanup, there will be a breakfast mixer from 8:30 to 9:30. A not-so-great Labor Day for one Suncoast boater. Take a look at this. An ABC 7 viewer, Paula Greenland, sent us this video of a boat fire at the Sandpiper Yacht Club in Inglewood. She tells us that a fire broke out on a small boat there around 11 o'clock yesterday morning. The man whose boat was on fire was apparently burned on his legs, and the flames even burned the shirt off his back. He was taken to an area hospital, but there is no official cause for that fire yet. Greenland says it looks like fumes on the inboard motor ignited. 5:11 this morning, and divers across Florida have once again decreased the number of the invasive species of lionfish. The annual contest to remove lionfish just wrapped up. Florida Fish and Wildlife says about 13,000 lionfish were caught during this year's challenge. The contest started May 20th with about 120 lionfish being caught each day. Now, lionfish are native in ocean waters off Africa, Asia, and Australia, but Florida officials say the lionfish invasion began with a handful of released fish and were first discovered near Fort Lauderdale in 1985 and have since spread statewide. Certainly a lot going on over in the weather department today.
Yeah, there is. I mean, everybody wants to know, is Irma coming to the Suncoast? And
Right.
it's just, as we talked about on the show yesterday, the noon show, it's just too early to tell. We don't know. And unfortunately, some folks are going to have to start their preparations earlier than other folks.
Yeah.
Folks like boaters, they have their boat and their home that they have to be concerned about. So you'll probably have to start within the next day or two to start mooring the boat and making sure it's hauled out or safely stored wherever you're going to store it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us will keep abreast of the forecast and find out what's going to happen as we get closer to the weekend.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that it's about 6 miles per hour short of being a Category 5.
Cat 5. This is an immense hurricane
Wow.
that is really going to do a lot of damage to those small little islands in the Leeward Island chain.
Of course, they're bracing for that any moment, I'm sure.
And the forecast track shifting west is not particularly good news for the state of Florida either. We'll talk about that coming up in just a moment.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest in your first alert traffic, and our Linda Carson takes us inside Siesta Keys Beach Club on this edition of A Place We Call Home. And coming up a little later in the hour, details ahead of President Trump's announcement today to end protection for young immigrants. Stay with us. We'll have those stories when we come back.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
This Saturday only, save 40% off factory direct windows. Bring in your measurements for on-the-spot pricing.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So starting off the day in a very pleasant way with 77-degree air temperature and dew point of 75. Kind of starry skies out there right now and an east-southeast wind coming in at 3. Temperatures across the region are generally in the mid-70s to upper 70s. It's going to be a nice start to the day. I know a lot of folks will probably hit the grocery stores today or get those last items that are necessary for your hurricane kit to have it in order. We're at the height of hurricane season. And we will see some effects from Irma. There's no doubt about it. Winds will start to elevate this weekend. We'll start to see more showers around, and the seas will also be elevated. So by the time we hit, I'd say Saturday, even Friday, certainly boaters should have all of their preparations finished, and then folks can start concentrating on what needs to be done, if anything at this point, to your homes. As far as our conditions go today, it looks pretty nice, kind of similar to yesterday. We'll have a few scattered showers, mostly in inland locations. The state right now ringed in the Atlantic and Gulf waters with some light showers, nothing really heavy. We have a couple of things going on our surface map. We have a big ridge of high pressure that sits out in the Atlantic, instrumental in steering the eventual path of Irma. It is strong, it is holding fast, and it is producing a steering current that is taking the storm really almost due west toward the island chain, and especially the upper islands of the Leeward Islands. And then back to the west, we have a secondary high pressure ridge and a trough of low pressure. Both of those also instrumental in where this storm will go. As this trough of low pressure approaches, it is forecast to lift out. And as it lifts out, it is forecast to allow that high pressure ridge to kind of build in just a bit and produce that track that takes our storm around its outer periphery right up through the Florida Keys, perhaps. So lots of sunshine around today, mostly inland storms, and we continue to watch the tropics. There is Irma, and it has increased in diameter dramatically. A very strong, powerful Category 4 storm, almost Category 5. We also have two others of concern, but neither one of them of immediate concern. Irma's about 1,500 miles away from us. A very sharply defined eye wall, nice outflow in all quadrants. This is a storm system which is not going to weaken anytime soon. In fact, it may even strengthen a little bit more as it moves over these warmer waters with less shear. There are the island chains that give us concern, and the eye of the storm is moving on a track that's just about due west. We do anticipate a more northerly turn later today, a northwesterly turn, and hopefully that will take it far enough north that it'll miss some of those smaller islands. And then it carries on a track that takes it just north of Puerto Rico. All of the computer models kind of converging over the next several days on a solution that take it closer to the state of Florida, closer to the northern part of Cuba, and then the divergence again still great. It still could recurve and miss the state of Florida, or it could move into the Atlantic and hit the northern Gulf Coast. Still too early to tell. Here's your official forecast track. Once again, 150-mile-an-hour winds moving just to the north, getting dangerously close to Puerto Rico, and then moving closer to the southern tip of the state by the weekend. Forecast for today, several beautiful days to finish any kind of hurricane kits or plannings. before we start putting everything into motion as we get closer to the weekend. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. We will definitely continue to track that throughout the morning. Taking a look at your first alert traffic, looks like there is some congestion picking up on State Road 70 and 301. Looks like downtown Bradenton is pretty clear this morning. Sarasota County looking pretty quiet except for 301 heading southbound as you're heading towards University. And South County pretty quiet as well, 520 on your Tuesday morning. The Beach Club on Siesta Key is a landmark that has been around for quite some time, and it's still going strong. ABC7's Linda Carson has more in a place we call home.
The beach club was called J&K Beach Club when it opened in 1947. Siesta Key Village was quite different then.
There was sand, not a road. There was actually dirt. And there was a couple buildings out here, like the one across the street, the Hub, and this one here.
It's always been a popular gathering spot. Former owner Richard Deere says back in the 80s and the 90s, it was one of the few places around open till 2:30 in the morning.
On any given Wednesday, Thursday night, this was the place to go, and we would meet here, and it was just all outdoors and open. You could hang out on the front. There used to be a front porch here, and the front porch had a bar, and the bar was shaped like a boat.
The club had two separate rooms, so two bands could play at the same time.
There was two different types of music being played back then. You had what we called the acid side, which was like 9 Inch Nails and In Excess and more modern type music, new wave music. And then they had the old side right here, the original building, which was classic rock and roll.
Some famous musicians have played here over the years.
The Allman Brothers have played here, not necessarily as a band, but they sat in different, occasions. There was actually a rumor that even Hendrix was here at one point.
And they've had a lot of national acts.
Eddie Money played here. We've had bands like Inner Circle, which they play that song Bad Boys, We've had Molly Hatchet, Marshall Tucker, Corey Smith.
And they plan to bring more national acts in the future. The building has been remodeled, even rebuilt through the years. The current owners made a lot of changes, included they added food.
We've added a little bus looking like food truck on the front, and we have wings and sliders and quesadillas.
The Beach Club has played a big role in our community through the years.
It is where a lot of people celebrated a lot of things, from engagements to wedding, to bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. So a lot of people had their memories of their life through here.
And as the Beach Club goes into its second 70 years, there are two things you can count on. It's still going to be right here. You can count on that. And number two, they're always going to be trying new ideas and new entertainment and new trends, so it'll be different every time you come in. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a new report says the next generation iPhone with the most storage will carry a steep price tag. Plus, coming up at 5:30, the latest on recovery efforts on the Gulf Coast. Stay with us. Those stories and more when we come back.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599, 800-570-7599.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, At no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-620-2254. That's 1-800-620-2254.
Just a reminder, you can stay up to date with us here on Good Morning Suncoast on our respective Facebook pages. We have Ray Collins, myself, and John's Facebook page there. We will be keeping you updated on Hurricane Irma throughout the morning, throughout the next couple days. So if you follow our Facebook pages, you can get the latest information right there at your fingertips. 5:25 this morning, and Apple will announce the next generation of the iPhone next week, but we're already learning more about the phone's pricing. ABC's Nick Watt and Diane Macedo have the details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, more sticker shock for iPhone users.
The new iPhone 8 is still a week away from its unveiling, but brace yourself for this.
The version with the most storage will reportedly cost $1,200. That same report says there will be 2 less costly versions. And these may be your wheels in the near future.
A Russian company is showing off a prototype of its hover bike. It will be available next year.
It's estimated the price will be somewhere between $50,000 and $80,000, but you'll never have to worry about potholes or puddles again. So there's that.
And Super Mario has a new job. According to Nintendo's Japanese website, the video game character has traded in his plumber's gear.
There's now some mystery as to what Mario does to make money. But then who's going to clean out the pipes? You know, when he goes down them in the video game.
Okay.
He breaks the bricks and gets the money.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day. No, you know, when he does the thing.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Disabled American Veterans.
I am a veteran. My victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
At DAV, we help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory was finishing my education.
My victory was getting help to put our lives back together.
DAV provides veterans with a lifetime of support.
My victory is being there for my family.
Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
When you want to put allergies with nasal congestion on notice, find fast all-day sweet relief behind the pharmacy counter with Claritin D. Strut right on past that eye and tell your stuffed up nose to stuff it with non-drowsy Claritin D, a steroid-free allergy medicine that contains the best oral decongestant. It starts working in as little as 30 minutes, so you can get back to living the good life. Live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, President Trump looks to end protections for young immigrants brought to America illegally as children. We'll have more on his announcement expected today on the DACA program. Plus, fires force evacuations across the western United States. We'll have details on the numerous flames firefighters are fighting this morning. And the NFL football season starts this Sunday, but that may not be the case for two South Florida teams as Hurricane Irma makes its way towards the Sunshine State. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday. Hope you all had a wonderful Labor Day holiday. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Ray Collins has the morning off. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi. Busy day for him over there in the Weather Center. How's it going, John?
For us all here on the Suncoast, I think. We have a more powerful hurricane to talk about this morning. Over the last 24 hours, Irma has intensified in strength and is now Category 4 storm, almost a Category 5 storm. 150-mile-an-hour winds and bearing down on those small islands of the Leeward Island chain, just to the north, especially those northern islands. San Juan, Puerto Rico next in line, and then Haiti, Dominican Republic, followed by an eventual track that takes it very close to the southern tip of the state of Florida. Forecast track by the weekend includes all areas at this point between the Bahamas and south of Cuba, so about a 300-mile difference in possible location, all of which would be considered an accurate forecast at this point because it's so far in the future. We are looking at quiet conditions here on the Suncoast. Morning commute should be just fine, and the day will be beautiful with lots of sunshine and a small chance of showers. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at traffic in Manatee County, looks like your biggest concern really on State Road 70 heading east and westbound. Other than that, looks like there is not a whole lot of concern in that region. In Sarasota County, there are some slowdowns over towards downtown Sarasota and towards the Bayfront, as well as Clark Road heading east or westbound, and in South County pretty quiet at 5:33 on your Tuesday morning. Topping our news this hour, President Trump is expected to announce today that he will end protections for young immigrants who were brought into the country illegally as children, but with a 6-month delay. ABC's Janae Norman has more.
Hundreds of thousands of dreamers waking up to a tough reality. President Trump expected to announce he will end the program offering protections to the only life they know, one in the United States.
This is where I grew up. This is where I made my friends. We don't have to be looked at as dreamers specifically, but more as human beings. These are our dreams.
Those so-called dreamers, young immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. White House officials telling ABC News the president will likely phase out the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. The program, put in place by President Obama to give young immigrants legal status, now stands to be stripped away by Trump, who campaigned promising to be tough on immigration.
I will immediately terminate President Obama's illegal executive order on immigration. Immediately.
After taking office, President Trump seeming to soften his tone.
They shouldn't be very worried. They are here illegally. They shouldn't be very worried. I do have a big heart. We're going to take care of everybody.
Just last week saying,
we love the dreamers. We love everybody.
offering that optimism amid a call from 66 mayors in 29 states to keep DACA and an open letter from hundreds of major business leaders like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Google encouraging President Trump to preserve the program.
If this happens tomorrow or in 6 months, it will be devastating for the economy.
Plans to phase out DACA would send the issue over to Congress to figure out a long-term legislative solution, and already attorneys general in Washington state and New York are threatening to sue the administration if President Trump ends the program. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
5:35 this morning, and at least 60 deaths are now being blamed on Hurricane Harvey, as many residents in Texas now face a new crisis. FEMA is now placing evacuees into temporary housing, but still no long-term plans for those who lost everything. Parts of Houston still under a mandatory evacuation as millions across Texas continue their massive cleanup. With houses still several feet underwater, the mayor is ordering residents to stay away from their homes. The city has cut power to more than 4,500 homes in West Houston in order to reduce the risk of electrocutions. Meanwhile, the controlled burn overnight at a chemical plant was a success. The evacuation order for those residents within a mile and a half of that plant has been lifted. And the Houston Texans' J.J. Watt has raised more than $19 million in his Houston flood relief campaign, and he's now inspiring other NFL players to help out as well. One of those is Priest Holmes, former running back with the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs. Holmes got in touch with Feed the Children, and now they are sending a semi-tractor trailer truck to San Antonio, Texas.
The reason why I'm here is because I was helping evacuees that have come to the city of San Antonio. It came because I got inspired. I was watching J.J. Watt last week, and he was talking about how he was raising funds in order to help evacuees. So I decided, hey, I know someone. I have connections. I played in the league for 11 years.
Now, some of the items to be given to evacuees include diapers, personal hygiene kits, and dry goods. Well, Congress will have its hands full when members return to Capitol Hill this week following the August recess. First, the House and Senate will face a push to immediately approve initial funds to respond to Hurricane Harvey. A vote on that could come as early as this week. The House is also set to vote on a package of 8 spending bills, and that could spark debate on hot-button issues like DACA. Both chambers are set to receive a Trump administration briefing on North Korea and Afghanistan as well. 5:37 this morning, and wildfires have engulfed California throughout the weekend. Now fire officials say the La Tuna fire, which started on Friday, is no longer an active blaze, but that could change depending on wind speed and direction. The fire scorched more than 7,000 acres, making it what's thought to be the largest fire that Los Angeles has ever seen. 4 people were injured in that fire, and at least 4 homes were destroyed. Meanwhile, fires are also raging across the northwest United States. A fire in Montana is threatening homes and forcing evacuations. The Rice Ridge fire near Seeley Lake grew nearly 50,000 acres overnight on Sunday. More than 750 firefighters and staff are trying to get that fire under control. The Rice Ridge fire is now more than 100,000 acres and is only 7% contained. People in more than 1,000 homes have already evacuated, with others on standby. The fire has been burning since July 24th, when it was sparked by lightning. And over in Oregon, another wildfire has grown to some 3,000 acres. Authorities have ordered more than 200 homes and businesses to evacuate there. Across the Columbia River, the Red Cross set up shelter, giving people under those evacuation orders a place to stay. Authorities believe a firework may have sparked that wildfire. They say the suspect is a juvenile male who is cooperating with authorities. A Utah nurse is opening up about her arrest that went viral. Salt Lake City police are now apologizing for the arrest made for Detective Jeff Payne. Their arrest was caught on another officer's body camera and is sparking national outrage. Payne arrested nurse Alex Wubbles because she refused to obey his demand to draw blood samples from an unconscious suspect. The nurse was following hospital policy and constitutional law, as the patient had not given any consent. Wubbles is now speaking about what led up to her arrest.
I was scared to death. I was obviously very frightened, and I think since this has happened, I've been able to sort of surmise that I really feel betrayed. I feel betrayed by the police officers. I feel betrayed by my university police and security.
The department says Detective Payne and another officer are on full administrative leave this morning pending a criminal investigation. Well, two South Florida teams, the Buccaneers and the Dolphins, are facing a third possible opponent, Hurricane Irma. Slated for a Week 1 game at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, safety issues may force them to make a move on the game as the storm looks to possibly hit South Florida. The NFL is considering either changing the date of the game or the location if conditions do not warrant playing this Sunday. The Dolphins have moved games in the face of hurricanes before. Back in 2004, the Dolphins played the Titans on a Saturday because of Hurricane Ivan. The next year, a game against the Chiefs was moved to a Friday due to Hurricane Wilma. Florida universities are taking the first step toward expanding the use of electronic textbooks. The Florida Board of Governors is hoping to bring savings to students who spend hundreds of dollars each semester on textbooks. The board approved a budget request for next year that includes a $656,000 program to encourage the use of e-texts instead of standard textbooks. The University of Indiana has reported that its students saved an estimated $3.5 million by using e-texts last spring. Now, that budget proposal would give students the option of using e-texts, or they could also stick with traditional textbooks. Well, take a look at this, a rare sight on a Panhandle beach. Dozens of little loggerhead turtles hatching and moving towards the shoreline. This video was taken near Pensacola last week. Now, the daytime hatching is actually pretty unusual because turtles tend to usually hatch at night, so it's surprising they were out there so early.
Okay.
Pretty cute.
Yeah, it sure is.
Well, busy day for you guys over there in the Weather Center.
For everybody. I think this is going to be a very stressful week for a lot of Suncoast residents, you know, as they, we just have to wait and watch and see what the track of this storm becomes and evolves with time. I will say that the hurricane models now are even more accurate today because they are being filtered data from a jet that's flying around the periphery of the hurricane. And also the balloon landings that the Weather Service sends up are doubling in frequency. So that's all good news. We'll have that latest track in a second.
Good to know. Thanks, John. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, your first alert traffic. And morning sickness is a natural part of pregnancy, but a more severe form is a condition any expecting mother should be aware of. We'll have that story next in Health Smart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
This Saturday only, save 40% off factory direct windows. Bring in your measurements for on-the-spot pricing.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-620-2254. That's 1-800-620-2254.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline, If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599, 800-570-7599.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
77 degrees the air temperature, dew point is at 75. We have a fair amount of clear sky out there this morning, so it should be a beautiful day to get out and about and finish your hurricane kit if that's what you're doing, and putting it all together and making sure it's in place. We do have a few scattered showers. We did out in Gulf waters. They've since dissipated. We don't really have much of a problem with morning showers today. Our showers that occur will occur inland. So the scenario is we have a big ridge of high pressure out in the Atlantic with winds around it kind of steering the hurricane due west toward the Leeward Islands right now. That high pressure ridge is accompanied by another high pressure ridge back to the west. In between the two, there's kind of a weakness in the system, and that is, by all computer models reckoning, going to allow our hurricane to lift northward with time. Exactly where that northward motion begins to occur is the million-dollar question right now, and one that we just can't answer in a somewhat chaotic atmosphere. So we have to wait, see how things have evolved. However, we do have a couple of new data streams that are being fed into the models that should allow for some better results and a more convergence of solutions in the model with time. But right now, the models are a little all over the place. A lot of sunshine, mostly inland storms, and we continue to watch the tropics. For the next couple of days, say the next 3 days or so, the computer models are pretty accurate and pretty clustered around one particular solution. But thereafter, as we head into days 4, 5, and beyond, the computer models really do start to spread out. Some computer models still do recurve it out into the offshore waters of the Florida Peninsula and carry it up toward Georgia or South Carolina. That's still in the realm of possibility. Other computer models take it further to the west and re-emerge it out into Gulf waters. Of course, that would be a solution that we wouldn't particularly want to see happen for our sakes. We don't want to be on the dirty side of the storm, which is the northeast quadrant of the storm. So that is what could occur should it move out into the Gulf waters. Or it could be further out into the Gulf waters and head up toward the northern Gulf Coast. Still too early to tell. All we know is that the threat for the state of Florida has increased over the last 24 hours. Even more so than it did as we headed from Sunday into Monday. So the forecast track for this storm continues to put it just about into the Florida Keys, with a forecast error ranging from the Bahamas to south of Cuba by the time we get to Saturday. So here's the scenario. Over the next several days, fair weather, a little bit of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mostly in inland areas. Winds will probably start to pick up just a little bit Saturday night into Sunday. Seas will become a little rougher, and the winds will elevate Saturday into Sunday. And then Sunday, I think we can get some pretty strong winds around here, some gusts perhaps in excess of 30. Of course, there's a lot of uncertainty in that weekend forecast. It all depends on the track of the storm. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Taking a look at your first alert traffic, it is picking up in Manatee County as people head back to work and to school from the Labor Day holiday. Looks like State Road 70 seeing your biggest congestion, downtown Bradenton looking clear. As we head into Sarasota County, some slowdowns over towards 41, heading southbound over towards the Bayfront. Other than that, Fruitville, Bee Ridge, and Clark Road looking good. South County pretty clear as well at 5:49 on your Tuesday morning. In this hour's Health Smart, when Kensington Palace announced that the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, was pregnant with her third child yesterday, they also revealed that once again she's suffering from acute morning sickness. It's a serious condition that can impact the health of both mother and baby. Kim Hutcherson has more details.
Many pregnant women experience the nausea and vomiting of morning sickness. It usually peaks around week 9 and disappears by week 18. But some mothers experience acute morning sickness called hyperemesis gravidarum, or HG. The nausea and vomiting that characterizes HG doesn't go away. It can cause electrolyte disturbances because the mother can't keep food or liquids down. Nutritional deficiencies and metabolic imbalances can cause headaches, extreme fatigue, and confusion, so much so that sufferers have difficulty with their daily activities. If severe, HG can lead to weight loss greater than 5% of pre-pregnancy body weight, and sometimes over 10%. In addition to the physical problems, HG can cause secondary anxiety and depression. Mild cases of HG can usually be treated with rest, antacids, and dietary changes. But severe cases can require hospitalization, so the mother can receive intravenous fluid and nutrition. The Hyperemesis Education and Research Foundation says the condition can have a profound effect on quality of life and result in financial disruptions due to medical care and lost work hours. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll update your top local news headlines. And there's intense workouts, and then there's breaking world records. We'll take a look at one Massachusetts fitness guru and the record he just shattered when we come back.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
It's a lot of fun. You got to come out.
We come down from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
5:54 this morning. Here are some of the top stories we're following on the Suncoast today. Suncoast residents are prepping for a possible landfall from Hurricane Irma. Governor Rick Scott is urging all residents to prepare their hurricane kits now, stocked with non-perishable food, water, and batteries. Plus, a road extension in Lakewood Ranch will open tomorrow to connect with the Waterside Project. And an arrest has been made in connection with the death of Corey Iwanski. Detectives arrested 20-year-old Jacob Brian Harris, who is charged with his murder. Iwanski was discovered dead in his car behind a plaza last Tuesday morning. Finally this hour, watch this self-proclaimed fitness guru break the Guinness World Record for most pull-ups in a minute. Adam Sandell of Massachusetts broke the record by cranking out 51 pull-ups. On hand to watch was Ron the pull-up guy Cooper, who set this record back in 2013. Guinness has very strict guidelines for challenging this title, so strict in fact that 2 of Sandell's pull-ups were actually disqualified due to form. But the 31-year-old still managed to beat the record by 1 pull-up. I was about to say his form is a little rough there.
I mean, it hurts
not that I can talk, because I probably could not do that at all.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So a busy day here on the Suncoast, of course, for people doing preps and such. You probably have a few days here where the first thing you want to do if you're a boat owner is make sure your boat is taken care of so you can concentrate on your home later should that be necessary.
Certainly. Well, we will continue to keep that track throughout the morning here, and we will update you with more news and weather when we come back.